circle moment. Like, just wow, literal chills. Like, can you see? Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Megan Renee. And in today's video, you guys clicked it for a reason. We're not gonna do much talking. We're just gonna get right into the stats that got me into these colleges all right here. And yeah, so before we get started, I just want to remind you guys that no, I was not the perfect applicant. Your path is your path. What's meant for you will be made for you. Yes, I did get denied from some of the schools that I consider safety schools. And lastly, I submitted my UC application at like 11:59. So, hey, I wasn't early with it, I was last minute, but you know, hey, it's okay, girl. But let's just get started. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about me. It's like 3 facts, but basically, I attended a small private Catholic school as for high school. And the amount of people that were at my school were about like 400 max. And in my specific class, it was about 81 kids. Very small. Everybody knew everyone at the school. So, yeah. And I was ranked top 10 of my class. So, I guess kudos to me. But I don't know if that really helped in my application process. Some people say it does. Some people say it don't. I know a lot of people say, like, if you were ranked top 10, like, mention that. But, like, if you aren't, then, like, just leave it out. Anyways. Okay, let's get into, I applied to about, well, you guys saw the schools that I got into. That was about like 16 schools plus one full ride from the University of Laverne. But on top of that, I think I applied to about like 25 or 30 schools-ish. So I got into maybe like a little more than half of the schools that I applied to, which consisted of Cal States, UCs, I think it was like 4 Cal States, 5 HBCUs, 4 Cal States, 5 UCs, 2 HBCUs, and then like the rest were like other schools or like, yeah, other schools I didn't really know what to name as or label as. But we're going to start off with my academic stats, and I'm just going to read you guys my transcript basically of my stats. And you guys could apply this to whatever the application is. Like for the UC applications, they mainly only ask for like your core classes, none of that extra classes. But for the Common App, they ask for like all your classes, so depends on what you're applying for. Just a quick disclaimer, my transcript starts from 8th grade just because I took a math class that most people typically take their freshman year of high school, but I took that my 8th grade year, and since I got a good enough grade for it, I was able to transfer that over for my high school years. And it did count towards my GPA, like my overall initial GPA at the end of the school year, like end of my senior year, I guess. And then also on top of my school, we had a religion class. So things that went towards my GPA was my religion class, my ASB class, me being a cheerleader, that was like a class. And then we also had Christian service. Basically, since we are a Catholic school, we have to do service hours. And if you submit your service hours, you pass the class basically. Just a few points, I guess, more to add it to your GPA. Nothing much. But I will just be naming all of that, and then you guys will know. I feel like you guys will be able to tell what was actually submitted to like Common App, but like the GPA matters for everything else. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, feel free to put questions down below, and I will gladly answer everything for you guys. Okay, so starting off my 8th grade year, I came into my high school with Algebra 1, and I got that as a B. Freshman year, I had all A's this year, and that was ASB, cheerleading, Christian service, English, geometry, PE, religion, integrated science, and fine arts. That was my freshman year, and it was during COVID. And then that summer, right after my freshman year, I took Algebra 2. And when I took that class, it was through El Camino, and I got a B. So it was like a college class during the summer, but I got a B. Next up is my sophomore year, ASB that I got for an A, cheerleading that I got an A in, Christian service I got a pass in, but we still got credits for it, so it was like 1 point added to our GPA, I don't know. And then I had honors world literature, which is English at the end of the day, and that I got an A, Spanish 1, A, honors pre-calculus A, religion A, honors biology I did get a B in, which was very sad for me. And world history was also an A. So that was sophomore year. And then my sophomore, I guess, the summer right after my sophomore year ended, I took Spanish 2 through El Camino again as a college course, and I got a B. Going into my junior year, this is when dual enrollment was, as a junior and senior, you could take dual enrollment classes. So first semester you'll have this class, and second semester you'll have another class, but both classes are college courses, and it's basically, it gives you the opportunity to take those college courses classes as a high schooler, but then like those credits transfer over to college depending on what school you go to and depending how credits work there. SB, I got an A. Cheerleading, I got an A. Communications, which was dual enrollment, I got a B. Christian service, pass, I got an A, I guess. Honors, American literature, that was English at the end of the day, but I got an A. Intro to ethnic studies, A. Religion, A. Chemistry, A. Environmental science, I got an A. And then History 101, I got a B. And then History 102, I got an A. Now we're gonna go into my senior year. And I just want to remind you guys that my senior year was the first ever year that my school had offered AP classes for the times that I was there. They offered it beforehand, but then since COVID, they didn't really offer it, and they brought it back my senior year. So a lot of us took advantage of that, and we're like, oh yeah, like let's just do it. You know, like let's just take the class. Even if we weren't like serious about it, we were like, let's just take it. Who knows? Basically, I had ASB, which was an A, cheerleading an A, Christian service A, and then I had honors English, which I got a B in, AP Calc, I got an A, and then on to my dual enrollment classes, I had general psychology, which was an A, and then I had religion, that was an A, anatomy and physiology was an A, political science was a B, economics I got an A in, and intro to sociology I also got an A. Depending on what was asked of me, that's what I submitted. So most of my like electives, religion classes, ASB, like those classes were not submitted through the UC application, but it was, some of them were submitted through the Common App. Most of the time they're asking just for the core classes. Adding everything all together, I took 10 college courses throughout my whole 4 years of high school, give or take that. I started early, so you probably, like, depending on what school you go to, who your counselor is, blah, 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 you might not have that much, and don't doubt yourself when you're hearing that. But also, with all those courses added up, it adds up to 34 units, but only 26 of those units were transferred to UC Berkeley. Like, only 26 were transferable. All of them were transferred, but only 26 were transferable and able to count as actual units. I just want to say that I did submit that I was taking that AP Calc AP exam, but I had zero intentions on passing that exam, and I did in fact not pass that exam. So that score, AP scores, SAT, ACT, none of that has went towards my acceptance, I would say. My overall GPA weighted that I submitted was a 4.375, and unweighted it was a 4.0, and at that time on the application sometimes you could say like what your rank was, and my rank was 7 out of 81 at the time, and that's what I submitted. Bow, 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 bow. Okay, so now I'm gonna tell you guys about my, wait, what is this called? It's the activities and awards section, and for this, it's basically this, I've only put down 9. Like, give or take that I have more, but I felt that if I was a college, like, if I'm saying yes or no to it, like an applicant, first of all, I don't want to read all 20 of your accolades and stuff. No offense, but that's just me. So I was putting it to like realistic terms. Like 9 is like the perfect number. I feel like 10 is the perfect number. But if there's things that you feel like you have to put on your application, like, girl, go ahead. Or boy, sorry. I'll read it to you in the order that I ranked it, because I ranked it in orders of what was most important to me, and then also what like defined me. Okay, so to start off, number 1 was volunteer/community service, and I am a Pop Warner coach, so I teach like younger girls like in the cheer aspect, blah blah blah. So I talked about that, and then I talked about how I put like 14 hours per week and that's what I did with them. I worked with them for like 2 years, since like 11th and 12th grade. That's when I was working them. So 14 hours per week, but like 40 hours a year. That's basically like what it was. And now the next one was my extracurricular activity, and for those of you who don't know, I am a cheerleader. I currently am on the Cal cheer team, but also throughout high school and throughout all of my years of living, I've been a cheerleader. So throughout high school, I was on the varsity team all 4 years, and when putting that down, I put that I participated from 9 to 12. My time commitment was 12 hours per week, 40 hours per year, but then also in the description, I put that I was a 2-year captain, 2 times All-American, and 2 times Cavalier of the Year. Anyways, next up was ASB. So I showed that how like ASB is something that I've been a part of since my freshman year, so 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. It was 4 hours per week, like 46 hours per year. And then same with that, I know a lot of people have are part of ASB, so this is what my reasoning or my description was. I said I was elected by my peers to be their voice. I organize and execute fundraisers, rallies, meetings, dances, cultural programs, and spirit weeks. That was it. Simple, straight to the point, nothing much. Next up is another extracurricular activity, and it was my Black Student Union Club. And for this, I said I spent about 3 hours per week, 23 hours per year with it, and I was involved 11th and 12th grade, and I was the founder and president of my Black Student Union, so I made that known throughout my description. I said, as president and founder of this club, I founded and built an environment for students to be themselves while learning about their culture's history and volunteering to their communities. Simple, straight to the point, I said what I needed to say. Next up was another extracurricular. At my school, we had an ambassador program. Basically, I would say it's like ASB in a sense, but ambassadors, you basically talk to like alumni, donors. You basically give tours of the school. Yeah, you guys know what an ambassador is. But to go on to that, I said that I participated 10th, 11th, and 12th because freshman year I couldn't do it. And I spent like 1 hour per week, I guess, being an ambassador. It was honestly more, now that I'm reading it, I really could have like bumped it up more, but it's okay. And then I said 15 hours per year. And you guys may want to, I'll just read this description because it may be helpful. I said, as the president of this program, I help build a group of students to be the face of Sarah. Together we go to middle schools and promote and convince future students to become a cavalier from our experiences. Simple, straight to the point, boom. Okay, next up, extracurricular activity. At our school we had a baseball program, and I was their team manager, and I've been their team manager for all 4 years, so 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Spent 7 hours per week, 47 hours per year with them. Lastly, I put my work experience. Now, for me, I did have my own business throughout high school, starting my 11th grade year, and with that being said, since I was like very much so into marketing and stuff, I had my own graphic design business. It was called Design by Meg. I still have it, I just don't promote it as much. But with that being said, I gave myself the job title of CEO. I put like 3 hours per week to it. And I said that I mainly do it like during the school year and in the summer. Like I made that like known. Really nothing much to it. I said that I started like January of 2023. Okay, sorry, my friends I walked, I really don't know where I left off. But we're just gonna go into my next work experience, which is my 8th extracurricular that I was talking about, or my activity, yeah. So my work experience, I've worked at Hollister. So I got that job my 11th grade year. It was like second semester though, so around like April if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I said I started April 2023. So I worked that job from 11th to 12th grade year. I say I spent about like 8 hours per week at my job, 12 hours. Well, during the school year I said I spent 8 hours. During the summer I spent 12 hours. And there was really nothing else to it. I just like described the job, and yeah, if you guys know Hollister, it's a clothing store, so just imagine what you're doing at a clothing store. My last activity that I put down, which is my 9th one, it's my volunteer and community service one, and it was for an organization that was founded by my friend's mom, and it was called Raising the Bar Youth Foundation. Basically, this description for this was that this organization is a non-profit that was made to empower young children and youth in those less fortunate communities Through this organization, a group of people comes together to equip those in need with necessary items. And I said, throughout the year, I help pass out food to the homeless and toys to the less fortunate kids. I also organize a clothing drive to help out families. And I participated 9th to 12, so 9, 10, 11, 12. And then it was 2 hours per week, but like 32 hours per year. Now going on to the most asked questions is the PIQs. What did I talk about in my essays? So we all know for the UCs, you have to pick 4 questions that you want to talk about. And I'm pretty sure it's like out of 8 or 7 or... So now for the first one, I would say the first one was I talked about how I overcame an educational barrier that I faced. Now, growing up, I used to be a shy girl, which was something that I wasn't like too happy about, I guess, but it was like something I couldn't really change. With that being said, throughout my academic years and when I'm at school, I never wanted to talk in class. I never wanted to ask questions because I was genuinely shy and I was like scared to speak up. And that's basically what I talked about in my first question. I just talked about how that was a barrier for me, that it started to basically not speaking up for myself, not asking questions. It started to affect my grades, and that started to affect like my mental health, because now like I was a girl that cared about her grades a lot. So it just basically, you know, it was like a domino effect of how it affected me. But then I ended it off like, oh, but in high school, I overcame that barrier. Because you can't say how like, oh yeah, this is a barrier, but I never overcame it. You have to talk about like, this is the barrier, this is how it affects you. How did you overcome it though? And how has it made you the person you are now? I'll read you guys like the first sentence and the last sentence of my essay. So the first sentence was in quotations. It says, there is no such thing as a stupid question. At such a young age, I used to be the shy girl who was too scared to speak up. In class, I would never ask questions to gain clarification because I was too busy wondering what everyone else would say about me. So that was like the opening. And to end it off, my ending sentence, I said, I am no longer the shy girl who doesn't speak up in class. Instead, I am asking the questions and ready to start the next journey of my life. Now that that feels like so powerful to me, because like, even though I'm still shy a little bit, like, girl, you kind of ate. Anyways, next. So this one is a little bit more personal, but it says like a significant challenge that you face. Now for me, this is like more personal for those of you who may not know me. I'm not that close with my father, and that's basically what my Common App essay was, like my main essay was about. So I used that essay to talk about this. You guys, my first sentence and like the ending sentence. I started off with, I never thought I would have to mourn a parent who is still alive. Honestly, that sentence gives me chills. Like, there's no way I was a high school senior and I was able to like articulate that sentence. Like, I genuinely love that sentence. If it was up to me, I would say that this sentence got me into college. Like, I'm just saying, I don't know, I may be delusional, I may be biased, I don't know. But to end it off, I said, I haven't spoken to my dad in 6 years. However, I'm not mourning a parent that's still alive anymore. I'm living, thriving, and excelling academically and ready to start the next journey of my life. Okay, we see a trend. In like almost every essay, I think I mentioned that I'm ready to start the next journey of my life. I'm ready to take that leap of faith. I mentioned that so much because I felt like that was something that was very important to me. And that's what I wanted to show throughout my college, I guess, application. Okay, next up is a academic subject that inspires. Mwah. So basically something that inspires me, well, I love reading, I love poetry, I love to write poetry, I love anything with like words. I just love letters, words, sounds, like anything like that has really always fascinated me because there's no way. So with that being said, struggled with expressing myself verbally, and then I found like a sense of like relief through poetry, being able to write poetry, because there's like no rules in poetry. And I went to, when it says an academic subject that inspires you, it was basically English. I talked about ELA. But I'm going to read you like one of my favorite, a few like just certain lines that really stuck out to me, maybe that you could use, I don't know. So I opened it off by saying, expressing myself verbally is something I often find myself having a struggle with. The struggle of understanding the concept that everyone perceives everything differently, and the frustration of not being understood. I've always found interest in how 26 letters can make up millions of words and sounds. So that's basically how I opened it up. And honestly, the ending is nothing like crazy, but I basically ended off, I said, outside the classroom, I have been blessed to be able to connect words to visuals and use art/graphic design in a poetic form. Period. And lastly, my last PIQ, basically saying how have I made the community a better place. And as we know, I just told you guys, I grew up as a cheerleader. I'm now a cheer coach, so of course I had to use that throughout my like college application some way somehow. Like, I adore my little kids. I love you guys. But anyways, basically, while cheerleading can be very toxic, there's no doubt in that, I make sure that toxicity or whatever is out the window when I am there. When I'm the coach, toxicness is not involved. My opening sentence, which says 5, 6, 7, 8, and the numbers repeat on an 8 count, which is the only way I knew how to count since I was 3 years old. And lastly, I ended this off by saying, as their coach, it is my job to instill confidence in my girls while always being there to encourage them when they fall, uplift them when they doubt, and motivate no matter what. I'm pleased to say that I am bettering my cheer community through my actions. And yeah, that's really it. Like, that's really that whole like college application. Like, what? Like, yeah, so now we're just gonna get into a quick Q&A. I did post on my Instagram and on TikTok, and I had people ask me questions that you guys really cared about to like add on to this video for you guys, make it more helpful. 4 questions, nothing too crazy, small Q&A. First question is, how did I stay focused with such a busy schedule, like I guess throughout high school? But this question can also be used to those who are in college maybe, or I don't know, maybe you're just watching the video in your college, because I still do that. I don't know, I'd be bored. But basically, having a calendar and having a strong mindset really like helped me. Okay, advice to younger students. This one is a bit more to it, but we're just gonna go down the list. 1, live and cherish the moment of high school. I look back at times where I was like not taking the full moment while I'm in high school. Like, girl, live in the moment for real. Apply early action if possible. If you know you like for sure don't want to go to like a UC or Cal State in hopes that you are a California like resident, apply to early action, because that's when you get more money within scholarships. Start now. Doesn't matter what grade you're in. Think about who you want a letter of rec from now, so then when the time comes, senior year comes around, you can like ask them ahead of time. You can be way ahead of the game. Ask them for a letter of rec. If you were like my school and it was like a small school, so like it doesn't really matter if you ask last minute, like they're gonna get it done in time still. But I know other schools, they be having like 800 kids, that's like 800 seniors. Everybody might want that one teacher, the favorite teacher. Like, every class has their favorite teacher. They can't write 800 letter of recs. They're gonna have to pick and choose. So, but if you ask them early enough, they're gonna write yours. So, don't have too many people read your college essays, because too many opinions is never good enough. Like, that's not good to have that many opinions. So, just keep in mind, like for me personally, I had my mom read my essays, I read my essays, and my college counselor read my essays, and that was it. People were asking, this is a question centered towards Cal, but they said, did you go to Cal Day? Why did I choose Cal? Yes, I did go to Cal Day, and I loved it. When I went to Cal Day, it was like raining a little bit, but it was just like the atmosphere, the vibes. Like, everyone there was generally like the best people on earth. Like, I love them so much, and that's generally the reason why I chose Cal, because it just felt like home. Like, there's certain places, like when you walk into the room, it's like, a fresh of breath air. Like, when I stepped onto campus, I saw the Campanile, the Sather Gate, everything. I was like, yeah, like I want to go here. Like, this is meant for me. Last question, is it difficult adjusting? For me, it was not. Thankfully, I had friends who came to Berkeley with me, but it definitely can be difficult depending on where you're from, if it's hard for you to make friends, or if you can't join any clubs, any sports, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. It definitely can be difficult. but for me it was not, which I am thankful for beyond words. But for me it was not difficult, but it can be very difficult. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for my other videos. And yeah, love you guys. Bye.
Your girl.